Okay, let me put it this way. We always wanted to buy something new, but it didn't fit our budget, and we were waiting for the price to drop to our budget. And we always have been through this moment, right? So, ever since I started my YouTube channel, I always wanted to have a good pair of headphones and a microphone. So, I found the one that I wanted. So, it was Redgear Cosmos 7.1, and it costed around 2000 rupees, and it was out of my budget, and it is also unavailable at the moment. So we'll go on with another product for this tutorial sake of you. And so the plan was to build an app that will track the price on Amazon, and as soon as the amount goes below the budget that we mentioned, it will automatically send me an email. So that's what we are going to build today. So now hold your chairs because we are going on a ride together. And before you strap up, subscribe the channel if you haven't, because the number gives me a motivation and helps me come back here and teach something new. And so basically what I wanted to say is,
Help me help you. Help me help you.
okay, so you can do this with any website that you prefer. You can try and experiment. And also, let's stop talking and let's get going. Okay guys, so this is what I have here with me. So the my application folder, credentials.py file and a scraper.py file, and a line of code written in here. So I'll explain in a while what it is. So to keep my email and password safe, so what I did was I created a text file with my email and password, and then I did is I opened the file and I read the data from that file and stored them in a variable, and then I imported those variable in my main file. So nothing much more. So now you can just directly use a string, but as this is for tutorial sake purpose, so I did it this way. Now let's go ahead and let me tell you the first dependency that we need. So you need to install two libraries. So the libraries are request and bs4. So yeah, you have to install this both libraries. I have already installed, so you can go ahead and execute this command and they'll be installed. Now what we have to do is we have to import the request library. Okay, so we import them. After importing the library, we need to mention the we need to have the URL for which we want to of the product that we want to track. So we go here and we copy this link and we paste it in here. Okay, now we have the link. The next thing that we need is headers. So this contains the information of the browser from which we are going to make the request. So the parameter, the dictionary that we need to enter, the key is user agent. And where you can find your user agent is you can go in your browser and just search for my user agent and just copy this completely and go in your code and paste it here. So now you have your headers as well. Now the next thing that we'll do is we'll create a request. So we'll create a variable page, and what we'll do is we'll create a request. So request dot get, so you create a get request and it needs two parameters. So the URL that we want to get the data from and the header, the user agent that you have. Okay, so we go and mention the URL and headers equal to header. So this is what we have. Now let me show you what we get here. So if the this particular code is correct, so we'll get the OK request from the Amazon server. So let's see. Once the request is completed, you can see we receive the response of 200, and 200 stands for OK. Okay, now we do not want the response code, we want the actual page. Okay, so here is where the second library that I asked you to install comes in picture. So we go here and from bs4 we import beautiful soup. Okay, so what beautiful soup will do is it will beautify the page and parse it into an HTML format so we can fetch the data that we need according to our need. Okay, so we go here and we create a variable soup equal to beautiful soup dot and we pass two parameters in here. So first is what we want, and second in which format. Okay, so first we want the content of the page that we requested, and second in the format. So we'll use html dot parser. So we need an html format. And now let me print out this. So print soup, and you can see we'll get the complete web page printed out here in our terminal. You can see we have a lot of code. So this is the same code that we have in, yeah, here in our terminal, so in our console. And this is the complete code of the web page, and this is never stop going to stop. It has a lot of divs, so we'll work with the ones that we require. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, instead of printing this out, let's first try it with title. Okay, so I just want to bring this title, fetch this title. So what I'll do is first let me check the ID of this element. So we go here and we click here, the little mouse arrow, and click on this, and you can see we have the title ID of product title. So we copy this ID and we go here, and what we'll do is we'll create a variable called title. And we have to find, so now we have the complete web page. We can use the method find to get a particular data from the complete web page. So we have to mention the attribute that we are searching. So the attribute that we are searching is ID, and the value of the attribute is product title. Okay, now let me print this out, so you'll see what we are getting. Yeah, so you'll see that we'll get a complete division. Yeah, you can see we have the complete HTML content of the element that we search for. Okay, but we do not want the complete span tab. We just want this text. Okay, and I don't know why Amazon is entering this much amount of space between. I don't know why. Okay, so let's not delete this. We'll add get underscore text. Okay, and what this will do is this will only fetch this text within the span element and not the complete span block. Okay, let me show you how it looks. Yeah, you can see we have the title but with a lot of white spaces. So to remove that white space, we'll use an inbuilt method from Python, that is strip. So what strip will do is it will remove the white space above and below the content. So let me show you. Then now we'll only get the complete title. So yeah, you can see, okay, I didn't save the file, my bad. So we do that again, and yeah, you can see we only get the title without any white spaces. So this is what we want to do with our price as well. So let's let's not remove this. Let's go ahead and create a variable price string, because the value that we'll get will be in a string format. So we have to convert it into int so that we can use it to compare it from the value that we want. So we cannot compare strings, but we can compare int. So we go here and we go soup dot find. Now we need to mention to the attribute that we are searching. So let me check what they have for the price. So we go here and we see this. So you can see the ID that is price block underscore overprice. So yeah, we copy this ID and we come here in our code and mention that here. Okay, now as I said, we need to get the text because it will give the complete span, and we do not want to do that. Now after doing this, you let me print it out. Print price string dot strip. Okay, let's save this, and yeah, you can see we have the title and we have rupees sign space, and then we have the actual value that we wanted. So now what we have to do is we have to remove this comma sign, because while converting this to integer, this will give us an issue. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll create a temporary variable. So temp equal to, now we have to replace this comma with nothing, right? So we have to just remove the comma. So to do that, we'll use the replace method from Python. So we do come here, we enter comma. So first parameter will be the element that we want to replace, and the second parameter will be the element that we want to replace with. So we do not want we want nothing to be there, so the comma will be replaced by nothing. So we do that, and let's print 10. Okay, and we'll get two values. So you can see we have the title, the original amount that we received, and now you can see we do not have the comma, so it will be easy to convert it into integer. Now to convert it into integer, we do not want this rupees sign because this doesn't matter to us, and the decimal value because this also doesn't matter to us. We are interested in this 4, so the index of this is 2 and the index of this is 6. So we need to strip that out. So to do that, we'll go and just convert it into int. So okay, so I'm typing it here. So we create a variable price equal to, and we cast it into int, and we go here and we'll use the temp, and what we'll do is mention the starting point. So the starting is 2 and the ending is 7 because sorry 6, because the Python doesn't consider 6, so it will be from 2 to 5. So 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are the four uh, characters that we want to retrieve, and we'll convert it into int. So let me do that and print price. So you'll see what I'm speaking about. Okay, so this is the title, this is the content that we receive, and now this is the integer value that we can use to compare. So it doesn't have any extra values, so we do not have to worry about them. Now what we'll do is we'll check if the price is less than so the actual amount of this product is 3,900 and my budget is like let's say 3,500. So if it's less than or equal to 3,500, then it will send me an email. So we'll create this method later. So what we'll do is create a method called send mail. Now let's do one thing, let's wrap this in a function. So let's go here and create a function, define check underscore price. Okay, now this is a function, and let's create send mail function. So define send underscore mail. Okay, now to send mail we have to use the SMTP library. So to do that we'll go here and import SMTP lib. This is the library for SMTP given by Python. Then we come here and we create its instance. So we go server is equal to SMTP lib, and we pass in two parameters. So first one will be the SMTP of Gmail. So this is what the SMTP part of Gmail is, and second is the code. So these are the constant values and you do not have to change, this will stay the same always, unless and until Gmail thinks of changing them. Then we have to initiate a communication with the Gmail server. So what we'll do is we'll create server.elo. So this will do is it will initiate a communication between our server and the main Gmail server, and after doing that we have to start the TTLS. So this will do is encrypt our communication. Okay, so it is important. So start TLS. So start TLS. Now what this method will do is it will encrypt the communication that we are having from our server to the main server. Okay, SMTP. Yeah, now we go and we have to do is server.elo again, so to acknowledge the communication that we received from the server. Now after doing this we have established the communication with the server. Now what we have to do is we have to log into our main account. Okay, so now to log in, another mistake that we did here is we have to use the SMTP method. So yeah, the error is resolved. So we go here and now we have to log in. So server dot login, and to log in we have to mention the details, that is the email ID and the password from which we want to log in. So email and password, these are the variables in which my credentials are stored. You can use them directly within the string as well, so it's up to you. After doing this, we are actually logged in now. Now we have to do is we have to create the subject. So subject, and yeah, this is a subject variable, and let's say, hey, the price has been dropped. Okay, and let's create a message as well. So body, so the body will be let's say, check this out, and we'll also mention the link, so we can open the link from the main itself and we do not have to search for the product. Okay, we paste it in here. Now after doing that, next thing we have to do is we'll create a interpolated string of a complete message. So let's say f, and subject, and in braces we'll mention subject, and after two line spaces we'll mention the body. So yeah, this is the complete message that we want to send in our mail. After doing that, we have to do is send the mail. Okay, so server dot send mail, and here we have to pass three parameters. So the first parameter will be the email from which we want to send, the second parameter will be the email to which we want to send, and the third parameter will be the message that we want to send. So the my email from which we want to send is in this variable, and I'll probably send it to me, so I'll mention my email. Then the third parameter is the message, so msg is the variable in which we have stored. Now this will send the email. Then what we have to do is go here and mention a print statement. So hey, email is being sent. Okay, now we have to close the server, because it would be harmful if we do not close the communication, because anyone can snatch the data between. Now to do this complete to make this system run, what we have to do is we have to go here and search for allow less secure apps. Okay, and after doing that we go here and you will see a switch. This is my main account and I've disabled this feature, so it isn't showing here, but in your case it will be shown. So you just have to turn this on, and after turning this on it will work. Okay, now to make this run, we have to do is go here and we have to call this method check underscore price. So let's do that, check price. Okay, let's run the application, and you'll see that we'll get back the title and the amount, and the email isn't been sent because this condition is not true at the moment. So let's make this true. So first let me open my email, and if let's say if the price is greater than 3,500, which is the so this condition will be true right now. So because the amount is, you can see, 3,999, so and the amount we have mentioned is 3,500, so it will be greater. So let's see what we get now. So we go here and we run the application. So we'll first get the title, then the price, then the actual price. So now you can see the command line isn't written at the moment and it's trying to send the email. So if the so you can see, hey, email has been sent. Let's check our inbox. So yeah, we go here and let me refresh. So you can see we have the email that says, hey, the price has been dropped, hey, the price has been dropped, check this out, and this is the link. Okay, so we have it right now. And now one more thing you can do is you can obviously you do not want to run it just once. You need to run it at multiple intervals of time, so that when the price is dropped, you get the email. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll go and create while true. So this will run always, and then we'll call the code here. So let's say check underscore price. So we'll call the method here. After doing this one, what we'll do is we'll make the program go to sleep. So to do that, we have to use the time library. So we go here and we say import time. And after doing this, we come here down below and say time dot sleep, and this will only take one parameters, and you can see it says in seconds. Okay, so if we say 60, so it will recheck after every 1 minute, and you probably don't want to check it after every 1 minute, so you can like check it twice a day, or you can check it once a day. It depends on you. So 60 into 60 will be like an hour, and into 24 will be a day. So it will send an email once a if it will check once a day and send you an email. So there you go. Now you have acquired the skill of scraping the web and sending some simple emails. So I'd highly recommend you to try it out with different websites and see what different information you get. And again, not each and every website will allow you to do this. Some might have checks like anti-web scraping kind of checks with CAPTCHA or whatever. So you can experiment with it, and also don't send like 1,000 requests just to mess around. Have fun with it. Okay, thanks again so much for watching the video. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, help me help you. And also follow us on Instagram. We are at code.genix, that is cod.genix. And I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.